Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm just going to be doing a little brief video talking about recent polls. Actually, I got to update this, I think. Mostly on the fact that Republicans have been significantly gaining in the 2022 generic congressional vote. You can take a look. This is basically what I'm talking about right here. Generic congressional vote, aside from the Economist and Politico polls, which do tend to lean much more to the left, most polls do have Republicans up significantly in the generic ballot. Generic congressional vote for Republicans, and this obviously comes as a result of, I guess you could say, failures on the Biden administration, not just policy failures through not being able to pass their agendas, but also, with economic issues at the border, issues with crime, issues with education that people had, a whole slew of issues. And now talking about Ukraine, and what is going on there. Obviously, making this video. Actually, this is Wednesday night, so things may be a bit different on Friday when this comes out. But it's not looking good for Democrats, and you can see this in the generic congressional votes. Also, I guess you can take a look at some of these. I don't know what this ad is literally doing right here. Let me just try and upload this because this is crazy. Okay, I think that ad is gone. And you can also look at some of these new Georgia polls. I forgot Herschel Walker, that's his name. Forgot his name for a second. Herschel Walker up against Raphael Warnock in a Quinnipiac poll. Another poll that does tend to lean to the left. When you look back at 2020, aside from their Joe Biden approval polls, which do tend to lean in favor of, or against Joe Biden, but when you look at its 2020 polls in Florida, in Pennsylvania, you can literally go back and look at the 2020 RCP map and look at their polls there. Democrats, Biden was up 4 to 5 points. They were, swung to the left and they were off by that much. Now it appears they either have recalculated and redone methods that they have done. They actually do a different method than most pollsters. I guess you consider a more dated method. However, maybe it's better, maybe it's worse, but they may have fixed the way they're doing things and possibly get more accurate. I do expect Delaney Walker, not Delaney, what am I saying? It's a football player. Herschel Walker to win in Georgia at the moment. I think that Raphael Warnock will lose. Brian Kemp could win. Interesting, poll here with Kemp actually up in a primary. Purdue down, which, I guess Brian Kemp is somewhat popular in the state of Georgia looking at that. But anyway, this is more about the Republican polls. Let's just click on the 2022 generic congressional vote. As I said, a brief video, so I'm just going to be going over the trends that you've seen. And you can go on the RCP polls website and look at this yourselves, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably do, but I just wanted to take a closer examination. So just take a look at the last pretty much 2 weeks from January 24th to January 10th-ish, I guess January 7th. Republicans pretty much dominate the polls aside from an NBC News and Politico poll, or not a Politico, a Technica, I guess, an Economist poll. You've seen it. Democrats, Republicans up. And then you can look at this chart, which goes essentially from January to now. Republicans taking a significant lead in the spread of the polls. Overall average up 4.1. You take out that Politico poll, not Politico, that Economist poll. I keep messing it up. It's even bigger. It's a much bigger lead for Republicans. So, just take a look at this section right here. What a significant jump, and I do believe Republicans will take back the House of Representatives. You can take a look at all of the generic 2022 congressional polls. Started off, Democrats very, very dominant. This was obviously right after Trump left office. Democrats were in a very good position. They passed the American Rescue Act. They had, the vaccine distribution was going out well, and Joe Biden was in a very good position. And then, not even as you head into the Afghanistan withdrawal, which is what a lot of people talk about being the decline of Joe Biden, Democrats were still up in a lot of those polls. And you can look, Quinnipiac had them up even 4 points. That's in, September. That's essentially right in the midst of the Afghanistan crisis. And going forward, you can go all the way through October and see Democrats up. However, as you turn the corner, after Glenn Youngkin won his election, Republicans really started to gain in their polling and gain in their support. And as you continue going through November, it was a bit dispersed. Some Democrats, some Republican polls, a few ties. December, a little more Republicans poking through. And now in January, it seems to be completely dominated by Republicans with a few Democrat polls. Not looking very good for Democrats. Going over to my channel website, just going scrolling all the way down. This is my current 2022 House election prediction. So 243, 192. I think the Republicans will gain 30 to 40 seats in the 2022 midterms, just based off the way that the historical trends, looking at red waves years and looking at the polls. Um, Quinnipiac, not just Quinnipiac, but other polls as well, the credible polls, Monmouth, insider advantage, showing Republicans up significantly, 7, 8 points in the spread. And I think that you will see a Speaker McCarthy next year, and possibly a Senate leader, maybe Mitch McConnell, maybe not, depending on what Republicans do. But you will see, in my mind, at the moment, a Republican Senate leader. Anyway, with that, please tell me below what you think the House election spread will be, and I guess if the Republicans or the Democrats will have a majority, and what that count will be. If you want to, you can lay out your Senate spread as well. And tell me what you think of this massive change in approval of the Democrats and change in shift of people supporting Democrats to Republicans in the generic congressional vote. With that, this is just a little short, brief video. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day. Make sure to subscribe.